Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 20 of So Now You're a Teacher. I am your host, Liesl McConchy, international expert on brain-based learning, author, teacher, and mother of three who is so geeked out to finally have this book in my hand. You guys, it's here! I'm so excited. This is the book that I've spent the last couple years writing with my mentor, Dr. Eric Jensen, the number one name in brain-based learning. And it's here. It's like in my hands. It's so crazy. It's so fun. I would absolutely love to be able to get this into your hands or into your teacher's hands. So here's what we're going to do. The publisher gave me a few extra copies, and what the heck am I going to do with several books of my own, aside from the fact that my 6-year-old is enjoying trying to read parts of it. But I don't need this many, and you do. Your children's school needs them. So here's what I'd love to do. So today, right now it's Monday. I'll post this tomorrow morning, so it'll be Tuesday. So from now until Friday, which is going to be what? I probably should have looked at this. I think it's May 1st. Yeah, from now until May 1st. Here's how you can enter to win a free autographed copy of Brain-Based Learning. Here's what you do. All you got to do is pick any episode from So Now You're a Teacher and just share it on any social media platform and just tag me in it so that I know that it happened and I can keep track. And then on Friday, at the end of Friday, I will randomly choose 3 people to get an autographed copy of my book. I will mail it to you for free at my own expense, and then you can keep it for yourself, you can read it, you can give it to a teacher that you know, or give it to your child's school. Do with it whatever you want. But I'm just really excited, and I'd love to share this with as many people as possible. So 3 lucky winners coming this weekend. All you gotta do, pick any episode and share it, tag me. Or if you have a hard time deciding which episode's been your favorite, then just you can just send out a link to the entire channel. Just grab the YouTube link, to the channel link, and just share that and say hey, I've been watching these videos. It's been really helpful. Just share with your network what's been really helpful. And then as a nice thank you, I'll send you an autographed copy of the book. So that's what's going on over here. Episode 20. I can't believe it's episode 20. So hey, in this episode, I'm going to answer the question, why are my children so different from each other? Or so different from other kids in their class, from their peers? So we're going to take a look at our dear old friend right here, the human brain, and I'm going to share with you what we know about what makes a brain unique. So it used to be, before we had incredible technologies and scans available to study the brain better, it used to be this paradigm that all brains were quote unquote normal, and about 10% of brains were unique in some way. They had some kind of maldevelopment, or they operated in a different way, or some kind of trauma to the brain with an accident made it unique. What we understand now is that paradigm is very backwards. It's complete upside down. What we understand now is that there are about 10% of brains that would be quote unquote normal, in a normal category. Did I say that backwards the first time? Shoot, it's getting pretty late. Let me make sure I got this really clear. So, oh yeah, I think I did. So 10%, we used to think that 10% were unique and the rest of us had normal brains. What we now understand, thanks to incredible technology, is that about 10% of brains are quote unquote normal, and the rest of us, the 90+% of us, have quote unquote unique brains. So what makes a brain unique? Well, when you dig through the research like I do, there comes up about 5 main factors that make a brain unique. And I'm just going to quickly talk about these. There's so much that we could dive into with each one of these 5, but just want to give you a clear picture as to why each one of your kids is so different from the other, and why they show up different than their peers as well, if you only have one child. So I had my first child 6 years ago, and I of course thought that I was mother of the year, parent of the year, because my kid was exploring the symmetry of the alphabet letters at 18 months. And then I had my second child and was quickly humbled and realized that I don't get to claim as much influence over my children as I would have liked with my first. So each kid is completely unique. I've got 3, as you know, and they are each very, very unique. So here's some things that make a brain unique. So here's a brain right here, right? The first thing that makes a brain unique is, of course, the age of the brain. The brain is constantly developing. A newborn has parts of the brain, even toddlers have parts of the brain that are barely even getting started to develop. It's just night and day. And the brain is changing so fast in those early years, even through teenage years and even into adulthood. And then we peak and then we start atrophying. And that's a conversation for another day, right? So one of the reasons why your kids have different abilities and functions and they show up differently is just because they're a different age and their brain is going through different developmental phases. Boy, we could really talk about that for like an hour. Another thing that makes your child's brain unique is gender. Yes, there are gender differences in the brain. They are, get the book. It's all in there. We've even added new research in this new edition of the book to talk about the brain of homosexuals and transgenders and all of the topics that are really interesting and really important in our society right now. And so just know that gender and sexuality and orientation, all those things actually do matter to the brain. Another thing that matters to the brain is, is genetics. Now, before you start saying like, well, yeah, but like it was the same mom and dad, we made like, it was the same 2 of us, we tangoed again and we had another kid. It doesn't always work that way because of epigenetics, and genetics are changing and they're modifying, and that's a whole nother exciting thing of field of research. But yes, genetics do play a role in our brain development, and it is different for every single child, even within the same family. Okay, which brings up the other side of that coin, right? The whole nature-nurture conversation. So nature would say genetics, and nurture would say environment. And you might also say, well, yeah, but like, the same family, the same like house, maybe you moved, maybe you didn't move, like we're the same parents, but you're not. We're changing, the kids are changing, they're getting older, environments are changing, they're having different social interactions than other kids are having, they have different teachers that are influencing their lives in different ways. There's so many factors in a kid's environment that's different, even within the same family. Their life experiences are just unique to them. And then the final one that we just can't ignore, that some people really find fascinating, as I do, is luck. There's just some things that have given some people more luck, a better chance at certain things than others. And some of that brings up some really important conversations around, well, within the same family. We'll just keep it within the same family because we could talk about the equity issue, but you're a parent, you have kids in your own family, or your teachers. And so let me just share this, that even your own children within the same family, there are certain elements of luck that come into play. I mean, even just the random assignment of teachers, of like which teacher they get at school, is in some schools a matter of luck, and in other schools it's a matter of how much you volunteered on the PTA committee. But that's also a conversation for another day. So here's the deal. There's several factors. These are the 5 dominant factors that influence a brain and its uniqueness and what makes it unique. So the takeaway is this: your child is unique, and claim all the good stuff, but don't blame yourself for whatever things that you think like, oh, I did this to my child. No, there's so many other factors besides you that are playing a role in your child's uniqueness. So in terms of their learning, going back to that old paradigm of like, oh, 10% are unique. And then some of you might be familiar with the acronym we use in education called an IEP. It's an individual education plan, an individualized education plan, and it is often used with students with some kind of like special needs in the special ed department. Well, those of us who work in the field of cognitive neuroscience, we understand that in reality, every child should have an IEP. If we were to create a utopian educational system, that would definitely be in place where every kid gets to have their own unique education plan based on their uniqueness. And so my invitation to you is it's okay if you are handling your kids differently because they are unique kids and there is strong neuroscience to support that. And you're just doing your best to create an equitable learning experience for your kids. And remember, equity doesn't always mean equality. Those things are two very different things. So those are my thoughts for today. Your child is unique, different from their siblings, and very different from their peers and classmates as well. So just remember that and hang in there, guys. We can do this. Episode 20. Holy cow. We got this, friends. All right. Until next time. Hey, remember to go post a video on social media and tag me in it. I'd love to give you a copy of the book. All right, talk to you later.